Right now, one of the suspects charged in the shooting of an Indiana judge and his wife is in court as we learn new details about what investigators say happened.
And now the snow is exiting. What's next for your forecast? I'll let you know.
And a push for change is on the table following the disappearance of Fisher's teen Haley Busby. We're hearing from lawmakers as family members work to establish Haley's Law. Hey everybody, we are seeing some snow fall across central Indiana today, a wintry mix in some places as well. Wow, this is video from our team out in the cold. This was on the south side of Kokomo not too long ago. It looks like a snow globe there. Thanks so much for joining us for an early edition of 13 News at Noon. I'm Dustin Grove here with meteorologist Rob Ellis. And Rob, we are cold and snow's coming down, although I had some, was it rain or graupel?
There was
or something
a little
else coming down as well.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of things there. First of all, it did hit pretty fast and then kind of got in and got out very quickly. Was a little bit of mix. There was some freezing drizzle out there. There was some graupel out there. There was some snow. So it was a little bit of everything. Most of that's winding down now. So we are essentially done with this system for the most part. We'll show you radar and show you what is now moving out of the area. Still a couple of counties we're going to keep our eye on, but for the most part, the system is done. Could not rule out a chance for a snow shower through the rest of the afternoon, but overall the bulk of this has moved out. As expected, we knew that this was going to be out of here by around noon or so, and that is certainly going to be the case. And then we just talk about cold temperatures for the next couple of days. Although today we could see the temperatures actually warm up quite a bit. Still have some winter weather advisories. Don't want to leave those out. Those will be probably dropped as that snow exits, and we kind of change up the forecast just a little bit. Temperatures have actually been rising. When a lot of that freezing drizzle and graupel was happening, we had temperatures that were well below freezing. Now we're starting to see some of these warmer temperatures move our way. Look at the 37 right now in Terre Haute, and we are expecting to get into the 30s for just about everyone for today. Next few hours, here's what we're expecting. We do think the temperatures will make it into the 30s for today. There is a chance for some light snow during the afternoon, but should be very little as far as impact on what you're expecting or the evening commute. More of a light snow flurry or snow shower here and there. And then over the next couple of days, we expect cold temperatures because look at our low for tonight. 12 is what we're expecting, which means that we're going to be very difficult to rebound from that 12 degrees tomorrow. Chance of some snow showers tonight. Again, very low impact from that. We'll talk a little bit more about tomorrow's forecast, which only gets us into the 20s, but how about getting closer to 50? I'll show you the 7-day coming up.
Looking forward to that, Rob. Thank you. To the headlines now. And new within just the last few minutes, we've learned a 2-year-old boy has been found safe following that Amber Alert earlier today. Just about an hour ago, authorities canceled that alert issued for the boy reportedly abducted from northwest Indiana. We got the Amber Alert early this morning. Initially, the Stark County Sheriff's Department said it happened in North Judson, which is a small town about 120 miles northwest of Indy. The sheriff's office says a woman was taken to a hospital with head trauma. They say she was assaulted by her husband, and they say the man, Dwayne Clemens, was armed and took off, left the area with their son. After not being able to locate them, the Amber Alert was issued. Again, the 2-year-old was found safe. The suspect remains at large. Once we learn more, of course, we'll update you right here on 13 News and online at WTHR.com. Investigators are now confirming that remains found in Ohio earlier this week are in fact those of Haley Busby, the 17-year-old reported missing from Fishers last month. An Ohio prosecutor now says an autopsy report verified her identity. Her remains discovered in Wayne National Forest, which is in Perry County, Ohio. Police say they believe Busby was killed in a short-term rental property in Hocking County. 39-year-old Tyler Thomas is charged in connection with her disappearance. Investigators believe they met online. They say Thomas led them to Haley's remains and confessed to burying them. Now, it's important to point out that Thomas right now is not charged with killing Haley. His attorney says he will plead not guilty if prosecutors file additional counts. Thomas is back in court next Tuesday. Indiana's House Speaker is responding to the push to create Haley's Law. Her family has been asking lawmakers to do something since her death, so they started a petition to establish a pink alert system. It would fill in what Haley's loved ones say are gaps in the current alert system. That way missing people and adults and kids are covered when there are credible risks. When Haley disappeared, Fishers police classified her as a runaway. Speaker Todd Houston says lawmakers are now working on next steps.
We just want to make sure that in a case like this, if there's a way for make sure notification is done properly, we get we make sure it's done.
Governor Braun also says he's working with state police to identify solutions to gaps in the missing person alert system here in Indiana. He says he hopes lawmakers can address the issue before the end of the session. New at midday, an 18-year-old man is in custody accused of making threats against Center Grove schools. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office says multiple agencies acted to serve a warrant on Breen Court, which is on Indy's far east side. That's where they arrested a man who now faces a preliminary charge of communications of intimidation and is being held on a $15,000 bond. The Johnson County Sheriff released a statement. We'll put it on the screen here for you. It says, in part, threats against our schools, our students, and our educators will not be tolerated. Any individual who believes they can hide behind social media to intimidate or threaten schools will be identified, located, and held accountable. More on that story as we learn of it. In the courtroom, the sixth person arrested in the attempted murder of a Tippecanoe County judge and his wife appeared for her initial hearing this morning. 23-year-old Nevaeh Bell was arrested Wednesday. She faces multiple charges, including 2 counts of attempted murder. This comes with new details in that case. We're learning one of the suspects, Thomas Moss, who's the one on the far left of your screen here, was out on bond at the time, facing several violent felonies in another case. 2 days before he was set to go on trial in Judge Stephen Meyer's court, the judge and his wife were shot in their home. Court documents say another suspect, Raylan Ferguson, who you also see there, admitted to being the shooter. Ferguson told police he thought Moss was going to spend the rest of his life in prison and wanted to give him more time with his son. Court documents also say that Ferguson didn't want to be a part of the plan, but went through with it to clear a debt with Moss. We'll let you know what we hear from today's hearing. We're also learning that a 16-year-old already charged with one murder is suspected of shooting and killing another man months earlier. Dominique Sherman is currently charged with the November 8th murder of his barber, Stephen Coach. The mother of Isaiah Booker reached out to us after seeing reports of Sherman's arrest. She says her son was killed at an apartment complex on the Far East Side, and the shooting is seen on surveillance video. Detectives have told her that Sherman is their suspect. We can confirm that as well. 13 News reached out to IMPD to see if a suspect in Booker's killing was in custody, and they sent us this statement. The homicide investigation involving the victim, Isaiah Booker, remains an ongoing investigation. Someone knows something, and the IMPD urges anyone with knowledge of the events that led to the loss of Isaiah Booker's life to come forward. Well, we could see more Central Indiana students host walkouts today in protest of the country's current immigration policies. The most recent happening at Avon High School. There's video of that walkout yesterday. Hundreds took part. This group took a lap around the high school, pushing for the removal of federal agents from cities like Minneapolis.
Everybody needs to understand how deep that this situation really is. Nobody's really grasping the gravity of this.
If you want to go out there and protest or try to stand up, absolutely do it. There's going to be others who support you. You're doing the right thing. You're on the right side of history.
District tells us they gave parents and students an option for an excused absence for those who wanted to participate. Schools like Southport and Plainfield High Schools announcing suspensions of students who are part of those walkouts. Paramedics in Plainfield are putting a program into place with better chances to save a life. How the program is helping seriously hurt patients before they even get to a hospital. That story's still ahead. Rob?
And we have some snow falling in the very southeastern part of the state, but overall we're watching the snow end. We're still going to keep cold temperatures around for a little bit longer. I'll show you when we finally warm up.
All right, Rob. And following the recent events with immigration officers in Minnesota, organizations are working to get community members there the help they need. The importance being this move to sustain individuals' mental health. That's also still ahead on this early edition of 13 News at noon.
Hey, have you heard about this new phone scam going around right now? Scammers will call you claiming they have someone you know holding them for ransom and then demanding money. Now, that might seem like an obvious scam, but here's the deal. These scammers are high tech, and they will use names of people you know, and in some cases, even voices that sound just like them. I don't know how it works, but it's happening. And Martinsville police are now warning residents because they've heard of reported cases there. They say hang up right away if you get one of these calls and call that loved one instead to make sure they are safe. If you then feel like there is a credible threat, then hang up and call police. On Thursday, I talked to an IU professor who is an expert in keeping your family safe when it comes to cybercrimes and technology. He shared a lot of tips and ways to be proactive. You can read that right now at WTHR.com.